Greetings, everybody. How are you all doing? Greetings. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday to you all. I need to upgrade this TikTok post something. The same investment consultant, peak performance consultant, Africa specialist, entrepreneurship coach. Level don't change. How is everybody doing? Welcome to today's this week's broadcast. As you know, I go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Nigerian time for about 1 hour to share, real life lessons in business, entrepreneurship, money making, wealth building, investing. Sundays, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. So if you're here, kindly part up your screen, most especially if you're on TikTok. Currently, we're live on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So welcome everybody. Kindly part up your screen. Let's have a fantastic session. So today we're going to be talking about family office. Family office. If you're here, type hashtag Sunday business lessons and also type hashtag family office. Type hashtag Sunday business lessons. You say I could not pin it. They don't want people to learn. They don't want people to learn the real things that carries weight. They would rather have you just be pranking your father, pranking your mother. I mean, doing, So welcome. Part up your screen and share the light. I see you. Is that Daniel that I'm seeing? Daniel Will, or is it someone else? That picture, I can't miss that picture. Welcome. Kindly part up your screen and share the light. Nobody's part up in here. What's happening? Guys, part up your screen and share. They're trying not to show me. Oh, okay, that's you, of course. Okay, part up your screen, share the light. Invite your friends. Let's have another thought-provoking session, right? Another learning session. You know that I don't come live. I'm not a streamer. I'm not a live streamer. Even though some people have been saying live streaming is one way to start generating income. Okay, what do you want to be doing on that live stream? What do you want to be doing on that live stream? Every day you go live, you are live stream. Okay, what are you doing on that live stream? You are begging people for money. Please send me line. I'm an entrepreneur, right? I'm an entrepreneur and I have projects offline. I have work offline, right? But I'm also, I do stuff online, right? Every Sunday I come live 7 p.m. Have a date with us. You can be sure that 1 week of waiting to have the next broadcast would be reached, and it's just for 1 hour. So kindly ensure that you have it with us every Sunday. Set your alarm, a recurring alarm. Let it ring every Sunday. So welcome. Last year I was obsessed with this subject, the subject of family office. I really got myself obsessed with it. Learning a lot about it, and I told myself that, man, 2026, I must really take the concept of family office to the next level. And I'm glad that, we have things lined up that we're going to be doing in the coming months, in the coming years, that would help as many people gain, an understanding and eventually master it over the concept of family office. Type hashtag family office in the comment section. Type hashtag family office in the comment section. Let me know you follow. Now, imagine having a team of experts in your life whose principal job is to make you richer, to protect your family, and to partner with you to build a legacy that would outlive even your great grandchildren. That is what family office is about, right? That is family office. I've known about family office, I think, since like 5, 6 years ago. I think I heard about family office for the first time maybe 6 years ago. But it was just more or less like a word until I did a deep dive into its exploration virtually all through last year. And I came to a point where I realized that a lot of people are poor, a lot of people are struggling because they don't have this system in place, right? They struggle because they don't have this system in place. In Africa, we have an adage that says that wealth is a garden. If you leave it untended, then weeds will germinate in it. Weeds will grow in it. For those of you who have been following me for a while now, most especially on TikTok, you know that since I came on TikTok since 2022, I've not derailed from the subject of entrepreneurship, business building, money making, wealth building, investing. You know that I've not derailed, and I will never derail because, okay, I will derail from this kind of substance to what? To entertainment. Who thought that they had it going for them in entertainment, only for a decade later for them to be begging publicly on social media, begging their fans to come to their rescue. Because sports person eventually go bankrupt. Why should an entertainer that has made hundreds of millions of naira in their career eventually go bankrupt? It's because they didn't set up a family office. And you see, yesterday I updated my bio across my major social media platforms on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, and where else? On Facebook, right? One of the first thing you usually see on my bio is solutions architect, right? But in a way, being a peak performance consultant is being a solution architect. But in any case, I have now updated my bio. So the first thing you're going to see in my bio is family office architect. And I have now added a layer to my life mission. I'll be 41 years old in 4 days, right? The first 40 years of my life, I've learned all I've had to learn. I'm not going to stop learning, but in a way, the first 40 years of my life is the morning of my life. And the 41st year, the first year after my 40th birthday, was more or less like the line between the morning of my life and the afternoon of my life. So the next 40 years, I'm adding a layer to my life mission. I want to help 1,000 families within the next 40 years to set up a robust family office structure. Why do families where the father the patriarch or the matriarch of that family died rich, but just 5 years down the line, the children and the family have squandered the wealth. They are now struggling financially. They're now poor. It is because they are not aware of the structure called the system, actually called family office, right? The same thing with mega footballers, mega sports people, former NBA star now struggling, former footballer, mega footballer now struggling, declared bankruptcy. An entertainer that was charging whatever 5 million per show, 25 million per show, show, to star in a movie, whatever, because they didn't know about the family office structure, right? It's because they didn't set up a system. And for a better part of the last 8, 9, 10 years, I've been obsessed with the systems of wealth building. And there is nothing else. I mean, there is nothing else for me to be more obsessed about. It's not entrepreneurship. And of course, even in entrepreneurship, my mantra is to use it as an instrument for wealth building. And not just for myself and my family, but for everybody that I am able to interface with, that I'm able to do business with. Right? In the next hour, we're going to be covering three major things. Number one is the broken legacy cycle. Guys, if you're here, kindly type hashtag SBL. Type hashtag Sunday Business Lessons in the comment section. And also type hashtag Family Office. Type hashtag Sunday Business Lessons in the comment section. And type hashtag Family Office. We'll be looking at the broken legacy cycle. Why African wealth? Why African, the wealth of African families disappears by the second or third generation. That's the first thing, the broken legacy cycle. The second thing we're going to be looking at is the billionaire's toolkit. What a family office actually does. Because it's not just about having bank accounts, right? And then the third thing is what I call the small chops version of a family office. How to build a mini family office for your own family starting tomorrow. Right? Now, the core problem that this addresses is the African wealth paradox. The African wealth paradox. Psychologically, many Africans believe that wealth management is just about having, an account officer that they can call their phone and then the person will pick. Right? That's what they think when it comes to wealth management or wealth building. But it goes way beyond that. Right? It goes beyond just buying land. Maybe buying land in Lekki or buying land in Ekpe or buying land in Ibadan. It goes beyond that. Right? It's setting up a system that everybody in the family operates by. Because I have a template, a family office template that I want to share with my followers, right? That I want to share with my audience. If you go through that template, it would create a light bulb moment in your head. I promise you. You know that a lot of people want to blame external factors for their economic and financial conditions, their economic and financial states. They want to blame the government. They want to blame. I mean, I remember when I was young, when I was a young lad, I used to blame God for making me come to my family. You know, until I read a book by Stephen Covey. I think it's The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. When I learned, that was, I think, 2013. Do you know that 2013, I was, okay, 2012. 2012, I was already in 500 in the university. Even at that time, I still had that mindset of blaming external factors, external entities for my predicaments. It was in 2013 that I read the book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, that I read that I have the power of choice, irrespective of the family I was born into, irrespective of my background, irrespective of my childhood experience, that I have the power of choice. And he said that between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And that gap is what determines the power of choice that you wield. I tell you that completely shifted my world. It shifted the way I saw life, right? And most especially when it comes to the subject of wealth, when it comes to the subject of money, when it comes to the subject of income generation, if there is no system in place, forget it. It does not matter how much money you. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the figure. If there is no system, if there's no economic and financial system in place, forget it. See, there are times that people will not know that I have certain amount of money. Even people who are very close to me, because I only see money as an ammunition of war. Because see, we live in an economic planet. Thank you, Dr. Kenny. We live in an economic planet. Thank you for the gift. And what that means is that we live in an economic war zone. It is an economic war zone. If you are going to leave an economic and financial legacy for your children and grandchildren, you need to begin to learn about family office, right? You need to begin to learn about family office. And family office isn't about being selfish. It's about building a structure that you are going to use to power economic and financial outcomes, right? It's about building a structure that you're going to use to power economic and financial outcomes. If I ask you right now, what economic and financial structures or what economic and financial systems and structures do you have in place right now that you are using to power your economic and financial reality? If you can't tell me in clear terms, then this live broadcast is for you. Now, the problem is that a lot of people manage to generate some kind of wealth in their lifetime, but it doesn't. That wealth is not able to get to the third generation. Most of the time, it is squandered by the children of the man or woman or couple that made that wealth. Now, the solution to wealth squandering, the solution to wealth not getting to the third generation is in setting up what we refer to as the anatomy of family office. the anatomy of the family office. Now there are four-part principle for setting up the anatomy of the family office. Guys, type hashtag family office in the comment section. I want to know if I'm not speaking above your head. Let me know in the comment section if I'm making sense. Because I know that a lot of people do not fancy this kind of subject. There are four parts principle for setting up the anatomy of the family office. Number one is what we refer to as the workhorse, which is the investment management pillar. The workhorse. This is when you are able to start deploying your money as your servant, where your money is now working for you. And this is beyond buying cars. We're talking about asset allocation, right? Where you acquire real estate properties, where you balance real estate properties with treasuries, with private business equity, right? That is called the workhorse. That's the first pillar. The second pillar is the guard dog. Type hashtag the workhorse. Type hashtag workhorse in the comment section, and then type hashtag guard dog. Guard dog. The guard dog is about risk management. Risk management. Right? In Nigeria, risk is pretty high because of a couple of things that are not in place properly. But you see, risk management is not about being afraid to take action. It's about understanding how to take calculated risks. It's about understanding how to take data-powered decision making. It's about having an helicopter view of the terrain you are trying to put your money in. One of the things I tell people when it comes to investing is that don't invest if you don't understand that thing that you want to invest in. As an investment consultant, one of the things I do for people is to help them understand what they want to invest in first. As long as it will take. Because one of the golden rules of investing is never invest in what you don't understand. The reason why Ponzi schemes thrive in Africa and in some other regions of the world is because people are investing, or they are putting their money in what they don't understand. There is no Ponzi scheme that has a proper mathematical permutation. But you find a lot of people putting their monies in it, putting their monies in that because they are not operating by any right? The guard dog is about ensuring that a family office have the right insurances and security protocols set up. And the purpose of that is so that one single accident or emergency does not happen, and then you are just flat on the floor. Right? The guard dog. Number 3 pillar is the village head. The village head principle, which is about governance and constitution. The family constitution template is what I've been, I'm sharing with my audience, right? The post I made today, make sure you read that post and then respond accordingly. And I'll send you a DM, right? Governance and constitution. And this is the most important pillar for setting up a family office for wealth building, right? This is about knowing who gets what after we are gone, or after I'm gone. How do we educate our children about money? right? Do we have a family bank to fund the younger ones' business ideas in the family, right? Do we just give handouts? This is what the family governance, the family constitution captures. Do you know that most Africans are impulsive in their relationship with money? It's either they are spending money on just basic needs or they are spending money on what they don't need. The majority of Africans, the majority of Nigerians spend money on only on two things: basic needs and what they don't need. What has been marketed to them that they don't necessarily need, but because maybe their neighbor has it, they too they want to buy it. Most Africans, most Nigerians do not have a functional economic and financial understanding of concepts like economic and financial governance, family office, family constitution. And guess what? You don't have to be rich to begin to set up these structures. As a matter of fact, it is the proactive setting up of these systems and structures that eventually makes you rich. It is understanding this system, understanding this structure that eventually makes you rich, even if you came from poverty. It does not matter. See, a lot of people who were raised in poverty have a bias for wealth because they have never seen the systems and the structures of wealth building in action at close proximity. When you go to rich people's house, they don't waste food. They don't serve massive food. Rich people's house don't serve. Rich people don't eat plenty food. Or go to poor people's house. That's when they will mount that rice and that eba, right? Poor people will tell you, go send it tomorrow. Nobody knows tomorrow. But wealthy people are planning for 5, 6, 7 generations away. Because see, poor people think only in terms of debts. Wealthy people think in terms of legacy. They think about what is going to be inherited after they are gone, and it's not just money. Right? The village head important pillar is what I call the oracle. The oracle, where you begin to learn about taxation, legal ways to build wealth, legal ways to generate wealth, right? Legal ways to optimize your business structure in order for you to pay less taxes. Legal ways to protect your assets from things like creditors, from divorces, right? When you understand that setting up a family office is non-negotiable, then you are truly ready to build a legacy. You're truly ready to build a legacy. It is pretty important that you let go of all the inherited excuses. Oh, I came from a poor family. My parents were poor. My grandparents were poor. I've looked through all my family, my uncles, my aunts, none of them is rich. It does not matter. I did not inherit wealth. But not only are my children going to inherit wealth, the children of the people that I am affiliating with will inherit wealth. Because, for instance, one of the reasons why we started our investment club, Circle of Investors Africa, was to help people build wealth consciousness, investment consciousness, to help them understand that wealth building is systemic. It is not run by prayer. It is not run by faith that you can have a big enough faith in God. No, it is run on the basis of precise systems, right? See, one of the advice I like to give to anyone who is 21 years and above is to understand that one of the most important instruments of warfare in the 21st century is economic and financial literacy. Economic and financial literacy. It is a real skill. Life is warfare. And if you are going to win any battle, you must go to that battle with the right weapons. Economic and financial literacy is one of the important weapons you need to arm yourself with in the 21st century. Otherwise, you are going to be run dirty by economic and financial hitmen and women, economic and financial tyrants, politicians, people in government, religious leaders. You are going to be run dirty by them. Billionaires, right? If you are not at the center of your economic and financial reality, then trust me, you are going to be run dead. So, like I said, make sure you read the comment, the post I made today, and respond accordingly in the comment section. Then I'm going to be able to share with you the templates, right? And if anybody wants to book a private session with me, then feel free to do that, right? A private session is 150,000 naira, but I can give you a discount if you reach out. If you are looking at setting up a proper system, a proper structure for taking your your personal economy, your family's economy to the next level, then you can book a private session. But better still, you can join our investment club. You can join our investment club. All through this month, we are doing a discount, a 500K discount, right? Currently, the lifetime membership fee to join the Circle of Investors Africa is 800,000 naira, where you're a member for life. But we are doing a 500,000 naira discount, so you only get to pay 300,000 naira, and that is going to end by the end of this month, right? So the earlier you join such a platform, such an ecosystem, the earlier we can begin to help you set up the structures, right? Now, it is possible that at the moment you can't afford to assemble the team that you need, because you need a team to help you engineer and architect your family office. You need the right lawyer. You need a banker. You need an investment consultant, right? And this might come price. But see, you can just look around, maybe even in your family, or someone that you went to primary school together, secondary school together, and decide to uh, employ their services in a creative manner. You could decide that you want to take them out for lunch. Maybe you just budget how much? Maybe 50,000 naira for the lunch. And you are able to let them know what you are trying to set up. Of course, if you become a member of the Circle of Investors Africa, apart from the access fee, you don't pay any other fee. We help you set up a family office for you and your family. We help you set up a structure, that system. After this life, you can Google family office. You can go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to tell you about family office. If you have never heard of it, so that you can begin to acquaint yourself with it. That is the ultimate system that wealthy people use for building wealth, right? So, one of the things you can do is to identify a trusted lawyer, identify a mentor. I mean, I could play the role of a mentor to you. Identify an investment consultant. I could play such a role to you. Identify a banker. Identify an accountant. These are the important professionals that you need to assemble to help you set up a super solid family office. And like I said earlier, you don't need to be rich first. You just need to understand what the system is about. I already have set up a family office for my family, the family I'm building. I have a family constitution, right? And anybody can have it for as long as you are legacy conscious, for as long as you have a dream, you have next level visions, you have a high sense of mission, you need it. Otherwise, you are just going to be taking 50 steps forward. I mean, you're going to be taking 10 steps forward and 50 steps backwards when it comes to economic and financial relevance. I was having a conversation with one of the ladies I just connected with on LinkedIn. She's a sales giant, right? Sales and marketing giant. And, I had a long conversation with her about an hour ago, and she was telling me of how that there are people on LinkedIn that they have high engagements, they have high following, but they are broke. And I'm like, what? It is easier to make money in 2026 than any time in the history of humankind. Now, why would you just be cloud chasing on social media instead of you to learn the proper way of setting up a money making machine or money making engine for yourself? But people will rather just be chasing clouds. Anyways, a family office is a system that you will have to set up, and you need professionals to help you set it up. And like I said, that is part of what we now help people set up at our investment club, Circle of Investors Africa. So if you are interested in becoming a member, send a message, send a DM, and we'll bring you in. So now, when we talk about the concept of wealth building, understand that there are, people live in two distinct worlds, basically two worlds. There is a world of poverty and there is a world of wealth, right? There is a world of poverty and there is a world of wealth. See, no matter the cogent reason that poor people want to give for being poor, they are still poor, right? They are still poor. And the reason they are giving for being poor is not going to make them rich. The reason they are giving for being poor, whether they say it's a bad economy or it's a bad government policy, or they say it's because of the family they were born in, whatever, the situation still remains. Now, people who live in the world of poverty and the people who live in the world of wealth are totally two different kinds of people. Do you know that when a poor person comes around a rich person, when a poor person comes around a wealthy person, they literally can smell poverty on that person? Even if the person is wearing the latest suits in town, even if the person is wearing a tuxedo, they can tell that this person is poor because you can't hide it, you can't fake it. People talk about fake it till you make it. There is no such thing as fake it till you make it. Most especially in the high net worth world. You can't fake it till you make it. Right? See, if you are in a rat race, even if you win that race, you are still a rat. You don't now cross the finish line and then become an elephant. No. If you fake it till you make it, first of all, you have not made it. Second of all, you are still fake. Because there are universal principles, tested and trusted, ageless principles, timeless principles that you can patiently learn how to deploy. Do you know that when you go to poor neighborhoods, a neighborhood where 90% of people living there are poor, they are noisy, they are loud. The moment they are like the only time there is quiet in poor neighborhood is when there is no lights, when there is no electricity. Let them restore power like this. First of all, everybody will shout, "Up NEPA!" Because you're never going to hear that in rich neighborhood. Now, the moment there is light, is for them to start making noise. Turn their TV on, turn their sound system on, turn their woofer on. Noisy. But guess what? Wealth despises noise. Wealth hates noise. That's why there are wealthy people they will buy entire estates. They will buy entire, what's that thing called? Uh, Islands. You see just one family living in an island because it's not because they don't want people around. It's because most people are wired for chaos. They are wired for noise. So one of the things that we do proactively at the Circle of Investors Africa is to change people's mindsets. I know people who are billionaires who came from poverty, and I know people who are billionaires who inherited wealth. The essence of legacy consciousness is for you to create wealth that your grandchildren and great grandchildren can inherit. Create wealth infrastructures. Because, see, when I see poor people hating on what they call Nepo babies, I just feel sorry for them. I know that they are not interested in wealth. Wealth building is no respecter of persons. But there are certain things people do that will never lead to wealth. For instance, chronic complainers will never build wealth. There are certain wealthy families, that have family members who are chronic complainers. Go and check those family members. Even though they belong to that family, they themselves are not wealthy. Chronic complainers don't build wealth. When you understand that wealth building is systemic in nature, you will stop behaving as if you can pray your way to wealth. You will stop behaving as if you can hope your way to wealth. Hope is not a strategy. Prayer is not a strategy. I know many poor prayer warriors. I know many struggling choir members. I know many struggling pastors. I know many struggling imams. And I also know many struggling entrepreneurs. Because the principles of entrepreneurship, business building, income generation, money making, wealth building, they are the principles that they are. It's either you know them or you don't. And in an information age where information is free to access, knowledge is no longer bliss. Knowledge is a strategy of failure. Sorry, I said knowledge is no longer bliss. Ignorance is no longer bliss. Ignorance is a guaranteed strategy of failure. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Apostle Bukola. Do you know that you don't need prayer to become successful in life? The last time I prayed was 2018. The last time I was in church. I have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs to build business structures, business systems. I have trained over 4,000 salespeople, entrepreneurs with sales systems. There are many people in business today that it was after I met them and after they met me that they begin to learn systems building, systems thinking, structuralism, and they begin to gradually learn how to set up systems and structures. A good number of them are multi-millionaires now. Multi-millionaires. And I have never, facilitated any training, any workshop, any coaching where I'm telling people how that you must pray. Hey, you must pray. You must pray. I've never done that before. Because prayer is not a universal principle. If prayer was a universal principle, Elon Musk would not be the richest man in the world. Larry Ellison would not be a billionaire. Bill Gates would not be a billionaire. If prayer was a universal principle, right? So understand that the things that we are doing is structural. You must begin to learn the language of systems, the language of structures. And without systems and structures, wealth is impossible to build. Right? So it's important that you go to learn more. You go to learn more about systems building. Right? Go learn more about systems building. I'm all about systems building. See, when I come into your life, maybe whatever it is I become to you, whether I become your mentor, I become your coach, I become your partner, your business partner, I become an affiliate of yours. I want to know if you're a structural person. I want to know if you're a systemic person. If you're not, we go enter the same Sokoto. See, I've had to come into people's life, and some of them are like, "What is it, sir? What is it, sir? You are pushing me too much." I mean, my coaching for a year is 4.5 million, right? You will pay me that amount of money, and you will not make. I'll not push you. I'll push you. I set up a challenge at the beginning of December last year called Business Fitness Challenge. And they didn't take them serious. So, family office is a very, very important system that has been kept for for decades, right? If you are interested in setting it up, if you want me to help you set it up, then reach out. I'm now on a mission to help 1,000 families set up their family structure systems and structure. Does anybody have any question? I know that if you go through the post I made earlier today and you drop a comment, from tomorrow we're going to be sending out emails to the people who drop the comments in the comment section, right? Make sure that you give attention to it. Make sure you do so. If you know anybody who might be interested in this subject, in this concept, please refer them to us. We'll appreciate it. Does anybody have any question? If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. If you have any question, ask in the comment section. If you want me to bring you up, send a request, I'll bring you up. And of course, I'm only seeing the people on TikTok. I'm not really seeing the people on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram and you have a question, maybe you can ask there, or you just come to TikTok. It's the same handle at Show Ambassador TV. Come to TikTok, and then you can come ask your question or send a request, and I'll bring you up. For those of you on LinkedIn and YouTube, if you have a question, ask it in the comment section. I'm not sure I'm going to see it, because I'm using Restream. So if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, and you have a question, you'd like me to answer your question, because my private session for 1 hour private session is 150,000 naira. Now you can take advantage of this and ask any important question that you want to ask, right? So come over to TikTok, and I'll be glad to take your questions. So whilst I'm waiting for your questions, I'd like to make a few announcements. To join our community, our investment club, Circle of Investors Africa, we are doing a 500,000 naira discount from the beginning of this month to the end of this month, right? To become a lifetime member, right now, you only need to pay 300,000 naira. And, we are going to guide you to economic and financial freedom. If it's going to take us 10 years, so be it. If it's going to take us 15 years, so be it. If it's going to take us 7 years. That is what we do at the Circle of Investors Africa, right? Also, we launched a new platform at the beginning of this year for people who are looking to acquire choice properties in major cities in Nigeria and around the world. It is called propertyhunter.city. If you are looking to acquire properties anywhere in any major city in Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, Oyo State, Ogun State, Delta State, Kano State, Kaduna State, Abia State, Imo State, Anambra State, Bayelsa, right? Ondo State, Ekiti State, or outside of the country, in Accra, in Benin Republic, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in the United Kingdom, London, Manchester, in Edinburgh, right? In North America, in the US, in New York, in Houston, Texas, in Canada, in Ontario, right? In Sydney, in Australia, right? So, in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, if you are looking to acquire major choice properties in major cities in Nigeria or around the world, or someone who is, just visit www.propertyhunter.city. You can just type it in the comment section. www.propertyhunter.city. And also, we are recruiting affiliates right? If you become an affiliate of ours, you can generate passive income, of 500K, 1 million naira, 2 million naira, and above, right? Depending on the kind of deal that we're able to close because of it, right? So, and all you need to do is just to post our 90-second video on your status, on social media, and attach the link. And if anybody, and one thing, if anybody, visits the, website and fills the form, and we get to do business with them, they are entitled to, a commission, right? So, okay, you're interested. Okay, yeah. Dr. Sam Science, no problem. Send me a DM after this live. Send me a DM. So Property Hunter City is a very, very unique platform. It's an inquiry platform. It starts up the inquiry process, then it ends in acquisition, right? We have over 2,000 properties across more than 100 major cities of the world, right? So, whatever property anybody needs, we are more than capable to help deliver the properties to them, right? So, Property Hunter City is the website. If you are interested in becoming one of our affiliates, just send a DM and we'll bring you on board. Nobody is asking any question. Is it that the topic that we discussed is boring? It's not entertainment. See, I mean, you guys already know, some of you already know me. I don't do entertainment. I do entrepreneurship. I do business. I do real estate. I do investing. You know, I do solutions incubation because I'm in tech as well, right? I do contents, right? But I don't do entertainment. I mean, just send a DM. Just send a DM. They are very simple requirements. Just send a DM. And, we'll book a call with you to share the requirements with you. So if there's no question, this is where I'm going to be drawing the curtains. Every Sunday I come live by 7 p.m. Nigerian time for about 1 hour for another of Sunday lessons, and I get to share, a few practical thoughts, a few practical strategies and principles of how to take better charge of your life, of your business, of your enterprise, of your money, of your economy. Uh, family office is something that you should begin to pay attention to. You should begin to learn about and ultimately be able to set up that system, right? So thank you everybody who joined. I appreciate you. If you're not following me, follow. If you have not, if you're not aware, I'm a two-time author. I'm an author of two great books. Personal Discovery Secrets is one. Personal Discovery Secrets is a book on self-discovery. There is nobody who have read this book who didn't, pivot their world, right? You know, nobody who have read this book who didn't get a proper handle over their lives, right? Who didn't get fully get behind their driver's seat, right? Personal Discovery Secrets. This book is loaded, and even though I'm the author, I can tell you that it's loaded. It's a book that took me many years to author. You know, I authored this book in 2022, right? This is my second book, Holistic Entrepreneurship. Holistic Entrepreneurship. This is a book for folks who want to master entrepreneurship. I've been on my entrepreneurial journey for 2 decades. This year makes it 20 years that I started my entrepreneurial journey. Started my entrepreneurial journey in 2006. There was a time I was referring to myself as a serial failure. because of several things that I tried that did not work, right? Uh, I condensed all of the lessons I've extracted on my entrepreneurial journey into this. And I am the number one advocate of the concept of holistic entrepreneurship in Africa. I'm Africa's first holistic entrepreneurship coach. So this book is going to open your eyes to, how to pivot into a holistic entrepreneur, right? And if you're interested in that, this hard copy is 24,000. The soft copy is 15,000. The hard copy of this one is 26,000. The soft copy is 17,000. And um, I'm going to be publishing my third book in the month of May, and it's a book on sales. It's titled Sales Engine. For those of you who are struggling to make money, even if you don't have a business, you read that all of it would help you connect the dots that you've not been able to connect when it comes to money making, when it comes to generating income, right? Thank you everybody who joined. I appreciate you. Next Sunday is another day. And on my birthday is coming up on Thursday, 19th of this month. I'm going to be launching a workshop called the Real Estate Workshop, and I'm going to be streaming it live. Initially, we wanted to have a physical, uh, we wanted to host people physically, but from 2 weeks ago when I started, sending a reminder email to the people I've been inviting since like 2 months ago, the majority of them were just giving me excuses. So I have to just reach out to the venue and inform them that we're not going to be having, because we wanted to host 150 people, and the majority of the people we invited were just telling me that, oh, some of them even said that that is when the fasting is ending and all of that and all of that. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just take it online. Just have it online, right? So I'm going to be launching a workshop on the 19th of this month, which is my birthday. And it's going to be streamed live, right? Streamed on TikTok, uh, and probably Instagram, right? So have a date with me. Set your alarm. It's going to be by 11 a.m. on Thursday. Um, I'm still hell bent on getting as many people as possible to understand the subject of wealth, right? Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. For those of you who joined from Africa and Europe and the United Kingdom, and maybe the Middle East, have a beautiful night rest and go to bed tonight. But for those of you who joined from Australia or from North America, the US, Canada, enjoy the rest of the day. And see you guys next week Sunday by 7. Okay, see you guys on Thursday. See you guys on Thursday by 11 a.m. Take care.